Are you just trying to scare me? Or
Welcome to Cal's Cinema. This is Creep.
you won? Now, will you just please step aside and let me go?
With Halloween finally upon us, it's time for our final horror entry, and with the Creep universe set to expand soon in the form of a new half-hour series, I thought it would be a good time to revisit the two movies and take a look at what makes them so effective in the found footage subgenre.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm assuming you're Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron. Nice to meet you.
Joseph.
10 years ago, as of the time that this video was made, Creep was released in 2014. It was co-created and co-written by Patrick Bryce and Mark Duplass, with Bryce directing and starring as victim Aaron, while Duplass takes on the role of the titular Creep. Right from the start, I should mention that this video will be fully spoiler-filled, so if you haven't seen either of the entries in the Creep franchise, feel free to watch them first and come back.
But this is only for you, buddy. I'm sorry. This is not for you to hear.
That said, the Creep is initially known to us, the audience, and first shown victim Aaron as Joseph. Of course, we later find out that Joseph is most probably the name of a previous victim, as the Creep uses Aaron's name in Creep 2 to lure in Sarah. In today's society, there really is no reason that the killer shouldn't also don Sarah's name as he continues to document his murders. Whether the Creep tapes, as the series is titled, will chronologically follow the previous films to allow for mention of Sarah, or Aaron, or even Dave, remains to be seen.
This person sent you a stuffed baby wolf?
Dave,
Yeah, I know.
this is serious.
Whoever shot this, they shot it last night.
What I love about Creep, despite there only being 2 films so far in the franchise, is that we already see a progression for the unnamed killer. In Creep, initially, we are unsure of who he really is or why he's doing what he does. As the first movie ends and we come to fully understand Joseph, we know him as an energetic serial killer in his prime and loving what he does. He views this as his calling in life, and Duplass's energy is infectious. You and I both can't help but laugh as Peach Fuzz is grinding on the front door.
Stop. Stop it. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
And that subtle comedy in Creep is what helps raise it up as opposed to other generic slasher or found footage movies. In the sequel, we're presented with a Creep that has lost his joy in life or death and feels the need to change things up, hopefully by forcing his own documented murder on film as the great climax to his life's work.
I think I always thought I was gonna die before I could share my work with anyone. But now I have you.
The concept of a burned out serial killer has been done before in other films and series, but nothing approaches quite as humorously as Creep 2. The killer has somewhat let himself go, at least compared to his sporty, frenetic build in the previous film. With just a hint of dad bod, a patchy beard, a messy ponytail, and a new end goal in mind, Aaron, as he now calls himself, has obviously evolved as a killer, though the thrills for us are ultimately the same. Something that Creep gets so right is the unexplained. Not everything is spelled out to us from the get-go, or even after both films have ended. This is something that some horror films struggle to get the balance right on. Somewhere between major unexplained plot points and minor unexplained world building, a horror film can quickly fall apart. Likewise, if a film shows too much, the magic is gone. We aren't shown how Dave was befriended, or what happens with his supposed sister Angela, or even what happens to Sarah at the end of the second film. All of these unknown details are what helps sells the glimpses we have into the Creep's world. We don't have the full picture, just enough to keep us enthralled as we watch him work.
I'm sorry, who is this?
Aaron, your husband hired me.
What?
Your husband hired me to film him. For the cancer.
Okay, never mind. Listen, I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and just leave. Right now.
What the fuck's going on?
Creep 3 was initially rumoured to be in the works shortly after the release of Creep 2, but with rewrite after rewrite, both Bryce and Duplass were unhappy with the results. I appreciate this approach in wanting to perfect the story rather than just release something unsatisfactory to continue what comes across as their baby. 7 years have passed now, and the Creep Tapes is being released in late November, and it's almost as good news as finding out that you can beat a baseball-sized tumor with positive thinking.
Looked pretty bad. They gave me the chemo. I knocked it out, really, and went into remission immediately. It was pretty incredible.
So what's the verdict on Creep and Creep 2? Well, it's probably fair to score them separately, and while one is definitely stronger than the other, they are both solid found footage horror films, with their injection of nervous humour and a mesmerising performance by Mark Duplass. We can become invested with their smaller scale budget productions, and even forgive their use of jump scares, which actually only add to the experience of watching Creep. Creep 2 sees a somewhat lower energy killer, and with that comes a more restrained movie. With the Creep Tapes showing a return to manic behaviour, I'm sure we'll see the killer with a renewed purpose once again. And with that deranged energy and, well, creepiness as a measurement, then Creep is scored as an 8.0 and Creep 2 gets a 7.7.
You were right.
But it's also a miracle.
So, what did you think of Creep and Creep 2? Will you be watching the Creep Tapes when they come out? You can let me know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe, and come back again to Cal's Cinema.
It's all